There's one Chevy transmission that has been powering drag cars and heavy tow rigs for more than 60 years without giving up. On the other hand, there's another that started failing so quickly that General Motors ended up facing lawsuits from owners whose vehicles barely crossed 50,000 miles. I've personally rebuilt all of them. Today, we're going to look at the 3 biggest failures and the 4 best Chevy transmissions of all time. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Let's start with failure number 3, the Turbo Hydromatic 200. This transmission is a perfect example of GM cutting corners to save money. Back in the late 1970s, GM already had the Turbo Hydromatic 350, which was a solid, reliable transmission that mechanics trusted. But someone decided it was too expensive to produce. So GM introduced the 200 as a lighter, cheaper replacement and started pairing it with V8 engines in cars like the Malibu, Monte Carlo, and even some Camaros. The problem showed up almost immediately. The 200 came with a thinner input shaft and weaker internal components, and it simply couldn't handle the torque of a V8. I once worked on a 1979 Chevy Malibu where the owner went through 2 of these transmissions in less than 60,000 miles. That wasn't an isolated case. It was common. The older 350 could easily last 200,000 miles, while the 200 struggled to even reach 70,000. Eventually, GM scrapped it and went back to stronger designs, but not before countless drivers were left stranded, wondering what went wrong. If you ever come across a used Chevy from that era with the original 200 still installed, it's best to walk away, or better yet, run. Now, the next failure is even worse in terms of design. At least the 200 was simple. It just wasn't strong enough. This one, however, was an overcomplicated experiment that should never have made it into production. Failure number 2. The Doug Nash 4+3. Honestly, this might be one of the most questionable transmission ideas GM ever approved. Between 1984 and 1988, Chevrolet installed this transmission in the 4th-generation Corvette. It was essentially a 4-speed manual gearbox with an automatic overdrive unit attached to it. You would shift gears manually, but the car would automatically engage overdrive in the top 3 gears to improve fuel economy. It sounded smart in theory, but in practice, it was a disaster. The overdrive relied on a computer-controlled solenoid system that failed frequently. When it stopped working, you were left with just a basic 4-speed and a bulky, failure-prone system attached to it. The electronics weren't reliable, gear engagement felt rough, and repairs were expensive because very few mechanics knew how to fix the overdrive unit. It seemed like GM rushed this design just to meet fuel economy regulations at the time. Most Corvette owners I've talked to have either already replaced it with a proper 6-speed manual or are planning to. When the most common upgrade is to remove the transmission entirely, that says a lot about how flawed it was. Finally, we come to the number 1 failure, and this one is still a problem in the modern truck world. The General Motors 8-speed automatic transmission, introduced around 2015 in trucks like the Silverado, Sierra, Tahoe, and Suburban, has caused serious issues for many owners. One of the biggest complaints is the torque converter shudder. You might be driving at around 45 to 60 miles per hour, and suddenly the truck starts vibrating as if something is about to fall apart. That's the torque converter struggling to lock properly. GM's official solution was to replace the transmission fluid with a newly formulated version. While some owners noticed an improvement, many others reported that the problem came back within a few months. As a result, lawsuits started piling up. Owners were facing repair bills ranging from $4,000 to $6,000 on vehicles that had only 50,000 to 60,000 miles. These weren't old, worn-out trucks. They were relatively new and should have been running without major issues. I once had a customer bring in a 2017 Silverado 1500 with that exact shutter issue at just 52,000 miles. The dealership quoted him $5,200 to fix it on a truck he was still paying off. To be honest, General Motors had known about this issue for years, but their response was slow. The fluid change they recommended felt more like a temporary patch than a real solution. Meanwhile, Silverado owners were going online, sharing their experiences and trying to figure things out themselves. Some trucks needed a full torque converter replacement, while others would seem fine after a fluid change, only for the shutter to return a few months later. That inconsistency alone frustrated a lot of people. If you're planning to buy a used Silverado or Sierra from around 2015 to 2019, make sure you check the transmission service history carefully before committing. Ask directly about torque converter shutter, and if the seller says the fluid has already been changed, find out when, because in many cases, the problem comes back. I've seen too many buyers pick up what looks like a clean, well-maintained truck, only to get hit with a $5,000 transmission repair within their first year of ownership. Now, those were the transmissions you'll want to avoid. But to be fair, Chevy has also built some truly outstanding ones. Let's move on to the best of the best. The first transmission on this list has been earning respect at drag strips since the golden age of muscle cars. And if you're enjoying this and learning something new, don't forget to subscribe. I cover content like this every week, and these top 4 are definitely worth knowing. Starting with premium number 1, the Rock Crusher 4-speed manual. This Muncie gearbox was built in the late 1960s and used in some of Chevy's most iconic muscle cars, like the Chevelle SS 454, Camaro Z28, and Corvette. If a car had serious power under the hood, chances are it had a rock crusher behind it. The name Rock Crusher comes from the sound it makes. The gears are so loud that you can hear them over the engine, and that signature noise became famous at drag strips across the country. This transmission could handle over 500 horsepower at a time when that level of power was considered extreme. But what's even more impressive is how well these units have held up over time. I once saw a 1970 Chevelle SS come in with its original rock crusher still shifting perfectly after more than 50 years. It's hard to imagine many modern transmissions lasting that long. What makes the Rock Crusher special is that it wasn't designed for comfort. It was built purely for durability. It's not quiet and it's not smooth, but it's incredibly tough. You can run it hard, shift it redline all day, and it just keeps going. Even today, original units in good condition can sell for $5,000 or more, especially if they match the original car. There's also a strong market for reproductions, because enthusiasts and restorers still want them. GM stopped producing the Rock Crusher in 1974, but demand has never faded. Even after 50 years, people are still willing to pay serious money for one. That says everything about its quality. Now, if you think a 4-speed manual is simple, the next transmission takes simplicity to another level. This one has just 2 gears, and it might be the most successful racing transmission ever built. Premium number 3, the Power Glide. It only has 2 gears, first and second, nothing else. And despite that simplicity, or maybe because of it, the Chevrolet Power Glide has become one of the most dominant transmissions in drag racing history. It was originally introduced in the early 1950s as a basic automatic for everyday cars like the Bel Air, Impala, and other Chevy sedans. But everything changed when drag racers started using it. With only 2 gears, there's just 1 shift. That means less time lost during gear changes, and fewer internal parts means fewer things that can break. That simplicity made it incredibly strong under high horsepower conditions. Racers began building Power Glides to handle engines producing over 1,000 horsepower, and they just kept holding up. A friend of mine runs a 9-second Chevy Nova at the local strip using a built Power Glide behind a supercharged small block engine. He told me he's made over 300 full power passes on the same transmission without opening it up, 300 hard launches, and it's still going. That's impressive. Compared to typical 3- or 4-speed automatics, which have many more internal components, the Power Glide is much simpler. And fewer parts mean fewer potential failures, which is exactly why it's been so successful. When it finally comes time to rebuild one of these, you can do it right on a workbench in just a few hours using basic tools. The parts are affordable and easy to find almost anywhere. What's really surprising is that even though GM stopped producing the original Power Glide back in 1973, aftermarket companies are still building brand new units today specifically for racing. More than 50 years later, the demand hasn't gone away. That tells you everything about its reputation. You just can't kill it. If you've ever watched cars launch at a drag strip, chances are there was a Power Glide behind at least one of those runs. Both the Power Glide and the Rock Crusher earned their reputations on the track, but the next transmission proved itself in a completely different way, working hard every day in diesel trucks and heavy-duty rigs that push their limits constantly. Premium number 2, the heavy-duty 4-speed automatic. If the 8-speed automatic is the one that gives me headaches, this is the one that makes me happy every time it comes into the shop. Often referred to as the 80, this transmission was introduced by GM in the early 1990s for use in 1-ton trucks, Suburbans, and other heavy-duty vehicles with big engines. And honestly, it might be the most overbuilt automatic GM has ever made. This transmission was designed to handle serious punishment from big block V8S and turbo diesel engines. The casing is massive, the internal components are incredibly strong, and it's built to last. I've personally seen 2 of these go well past 300,000 miles on their original internals with nothing more than regular fluid changes. One of them was in a Chevy Suburban that spent 15 years towing a boat almost every weekend, and it still shifted perfectly. Truck owners aren't the only ones who realized how capable this transmission is. The hot rod community quickly figured out that it could handle serious horsepower. People started swapping it into everything, from classic muscle cars to off-road builds and diesel trucks pushing over 600 horsepower. And it just keeps going. That's not marketing hype. That's what I've seen firsthand again and again in the shop. The only real downside is its size and weight. It's a big, heavy transmission, so it won't fit every setup. But if you've got the space and need something that can take serious abuse, this is easily one of the best choices out there. Now, if the heavy-duty 4-speed is that impressive, what could possibly take the number 1 spot? The answer is simple: the transmission that inspired it, the one that built the reputation in the first place. And if you've spent any time around Chevy trucks or muscle cars, you probably already know what it is. Premium number 1, the Turbo Hydromatic 400. The 400 is, in my opinion, the greatest automatic transmission GM has ever built, and I'll stand by that. Introduced in 1964, GM used it in everything: Corvettes, Camaros, Chevelles, big block engines, and full-size trucks. Whenever a vehicle needed a transmission that absolutely wouldn't fail, this was the go-to option. It was built like a tank. 3 speeds, extremely strong internal components, and a reputation for surviving punishment that would destroy most other transmissions. Drag racers used them behind supercharged big block engines. Off-road enthusiasts pushed them through rough terrain. Truck owners hauled massive trailers across the country, and these transmissions just kept working. I rebuilt one last year from a 1972 Chevelle that had been sitting unused in a barn for 2 decades. After fresh fluid, new seals, and a filter, it shifted like it was brand new. That's a 50-year-old transmission still doing its job without complaint. GM got the engineering right from the start. And it says a lot that this transmission was even used in military vehicles, actual combat equipment. When something is trusted in situations where reliability is critical, that's the highest level of confidence you can get. Even today, you can still find these transmissions in junkyards and swap meets, and rebuilt units are widely available. What makes it even better is how simple it is to rebuild. With a basic manual and standard tools, you can rebuild one in your own garage over a weekend. I've even guided customers through the process over the phone. That's how straightforward it is. Over the decades, GM has produced a wide range of transmissions. Some were exceptional, while others were clear examples of cost-cutting gone wrong. But the Turbo Hydromatic 400 stands at the top, because it earned that position through decades of real-world performance, in workshops, on racetracks, and out on the road. If you own a Chevy, I've also put together another video covering 15 expensive mistakes that Chevy owners keep making. Some of those mistakes can void your warranty, and a few can seriously damage your transmission. If you've just spent this time learning which transmissions you can trust, it's just as important to make sure you're not accidentally ruining the one you already have. That's definitely the next video you should check out.